is kind of taking this thing to a whole nother level,
Yeah.
because it's really, really easy to use and it's quick. So we're going to try to get this up and bumping here this weekend and get all the little grooves worked out of it, and then be full tilt boogie on Monday with it.
Well,
Um,
you can, I mean, you can use them now. I put the bundles to,
yeah, it's just we're
yeah.
still trying to get all the stuff underneath it, but this is so cool. What this stuff does and how fast it works and just how accurate it is ridiculous.
And then it works in a sequence. I'll actually show that. So, yeah, for both of these, since you haven't seen it probably yet, because this is something I didn't even know about skills like a month ago. So to activate skills, you want to go to plugins under GPT. It's obviously under the bar, so I got to move that bar. Then you go to skills up here, right? You pull skills up. So it's so you get these skills, right? And I have 50 of them I generated. You can generate you can have 100 of them. So I generated 50. So not everybody in the group's going to need 50. But I put bundles together because you guys will see there's a lot of, there's multifamily due diligence. I have all the, they start it down here at the bottom. I got a purchase agreement assistant. There's a foreclosure list normalizer, a county foreclosure source navigator to start pulling for. So you can generate, make your own as well. So like I said, you get 100 of them all together. It's automatically already in your GPT. So if you get your GPT, it doesn't even matter if it's core, but you got it, you got access to it, for that. So when you go to skills, they're going to show up. Okay, let me go back and pull one up just so I can kind of show it. So if I use the county foreclosure source navigator, it's going to look like this. And so it's got all the information in it, right? So if I want to, so in the RCIC Facebook group, I have this. I just copy and pasted it in there, and I put this, and then I generate here. I generated a link. So there's a link in there that in the files tab that you can pull this out. So when you come back to it, so like I said, you can copy and paste. Everybody's gonna have to do this manually. I know it sucks. There's 50 of them, but I can't figure
Once
out.
it's in there, it's in there.
Yeah, I can't like figure out. I was trying to figure out a bulk installer. It's just not working. I know Ginger tried a couple of them, so unfortunately people are gonna have to do these individually, but I did make bundles so we can go in and get like 5 at a time. And it should really take everybody less than 5 minutes to do 5 and put and install them in their system. So you could do like 5 or 10 and then a couple days later do the next 5. But where you go to put those in is you'll come here so you can create with editor. So when you look at editor that I just showed you, I looked at, you just copy and paste that whole thing. So what'll happen is you'll create with editor, right? That name of the one that I just showed you where it was all written out, you can put the skill name there and the description, and then you just copy and paste that in there, and then it goes, that skill goes live, right? You can still upload. So it'll show you the skill, which is an MD. I forget actually what MD stands for. But you can also go to upload from the computer. So I give everybody two, and you don't have to click on two, they're both together. So you can either get the copy and paste, or you can just grab the zip thing and just copy and paste the zip into here, and it loads the skill. So then these work really well. I mean, these are phenomenal. And it's just amazing how smooth this is. So we're kind of ramping up from when we were talking about like in the projects and doing buy box and all that stuff. I mean, everybody can still do it. It's still available if that's how they want to do it. This gives them the ability to do that, building projects, or they could use, they can use agents, prompt, and you still use prompt skills and agents. Agents can deploy skills. So now if you take your 40 agents, now you can generate hundreds, use hundreds, deploy it a lot of times. So it's pretty cool. You got all kinds of things. Like I've got ones for building ads and funnels and drip email and text drips, things like that. So these are all automatic. And literally, it's one of the coolest things that they've done. They made it available. So just remember, it's in plugins and skills. I'll go back down to the thing, and I'll go through a little bit more of the presentation on it. And I'll show you. I'm actually going to do bundles. I'm going to run through a wholesaling bundle that I generated. So this is really, really amazing. And I posted this. This is actually in both Facebook groups, so you guys can go and read it, line for line. But what is, it has skills, the sequences, and the bundles. So it's, and there's back office skills. So if you go to front office skills, like here, it's going to tell you like where the opportunity is, who owns or controls the property, what has been verified. There's skills in here for skip tracing. So and then we run a sequence, and it's in the sequence. And so you get down to here. Here's like skills, sequences, bundles, and systems. It'll run a skill. It has a sequence. It has the bundle, the system. The skill is going to perform one specialized job, and it's a repeatable standard. It's repeatable. It's never going to deviate. And then a sequence establishes the order in which skills should run. The bundle is group skills needed for a strategy, asset class, role, or stage of execution. The system is connect the skills, the data, the decisions, the documents, the people, the deadlines, and the outputs. So if you got a wholesale opportunity, it's going to have the lead intelligence router, the property and deed intelligence, property comp and ARV analyst, the rehab scope and a cost estimator, the wholesale deal analyzer, all these tools, all these skills. So you can get in these bundles. So we get down here, there's different bundles. Like there's here's a bundle objective for the core back office bundle. And it's going to have the exit strategy decision engine, the 3-option tour. It's going to have an offer generator skill, capital stack and funding architect. It'll have capital passport deal matching, the purchase agreement assistant, due diligence command center, and the TC coordinator. That's one like sequence. And you get into like different ones. There's a capital bundle. And like I said, all the bundles are listed in the Facebook group. So people can grab them. Like there's 5 skills per bundle. There's 10 bundles. There's a structure and tax strategy bundle. It'll get into joint venture partnership agreements, 1031 exchange, cost segregation. There's a multifamily syndication structure navigator. So it's all in that. That's one bundle. And then you got like a wholesale bundle, fix and flip bundle, you got a long-term rental bundle, creative finance bundle, surplus and overbid. And then you can build your own bundles, you can build your own tools as well. So if you want to have specific things, that'd be cool. There's asset class, single family, multifamily. There's a specialty asset bundle, which gets into mobile home parks, RV parks, self-storage, land, REL. So that's the specialty one. And then you can get into, there's a lot of cool stuff. I'm going to go ahead and real quick, I put one together. And this is a wholesale bundle I put together, right? So I put the wholesale together and I'm going to run this. I'm going to go through real quick and have it generate. Okay. Run the wholesale bundle sequence using Jefferson County, Colorado. And it's HJ.
This basically takes the place of all the stuff that we've got in Claude at this point.
Yeah, we may be
and that's what makes this interesting.
Because I built too much stuff over there that we need.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna so just so you know, to endorse, I basically am taking what we built on RCIC systems because we're now, that's been up, and now they can pump everything from the GPT into it, where I don't have to go over there and like mess with it and go in there and GitHub, and go in and risk, screwing something up. It's actually, I'll show you guys that where it's here. So it's actually better because we're going to be going live at that now. And that's what we're talking about, on RCIC systems. It's already set up for subscription, so people can start subscribing to that, and that'll be our subscription. That'll become our revenue. We'll still.
All you got to do is just bring this out, copy it, then go back to RCIC, paste, and you're done. So you don't have to build all that stuff up in it. This is instantaneous.
So
how much time you got in there still working? Current? Yeah, it's still working on it. So the whole point is, instead of having to do all that stuff we had to go, but you had to go up there and you had to go to Claude and use your API key and pull all that together, put all your stuff together, and then you had to move it and do all that things. All you do is go grab the link one time out of files and install this on your core, and it's there.
In Claude?
And all you need to do is just copy it and paste it in there, and it's installed. That's the end of it.
We'll be
and then you could put Yeah, you can put as many of these back to back as you want to and build the whole thing for what you're doing out of this and make it automated. It's I mean, it is slick.
I'm
I
trying to
mean,
get
this takes a
everybody
week's worth of
started
work down to about 30 minutes is what it
in
basically does.
GPT. And if it's just in GPT, because it'll still, like, if people have it now, they can log in. It's not going to change. Nothing. The access key will still work. Everything will work. It's just going to be, I'm able to pump all the stuff that I put into the GPTs and OpenAI into it, so I can pump it up with a lot more intelligence. This is pretty cool.
But watch how long it takes to do this. This is what really gets crazy.
Yeah, because it's into assessor records. And so you guys have seen, how I've been polling like Jefferson County and stuff and El Paso County in Colorado, and I have to go back and forth. Now this is actually has moved past the AHJ. It's now into the tax assessor records. So it's running 11 skills totally. So it's doing 11 different things. It may seem like it's taking longer, but
I
it's
mean, you,
running
you
11
get into your intelligence suite and stuff with this thing is what it basically goes all the way down into. So you don't have all this extra having to drag a bunch of stuff. And you're taking maybe 15 minutes to do the thing from top to bottom, and the whole thing's done. It's like ding, you're ready to go ahead and it's like having a microwave oven taking care of your pizza instead of having to wait for an hour and a half for it to get ready in the regular oven. That's what this is like.
So you're doing, you could run, you could put a sequence together of 11, 12 skills, 10 skills at least that can go in there and do this in 10, 15 minutes and get, produce some pretty good results for you.
I mean, it's sending your letters out already and making offers. I mean, seriously, right?
And I don't know. I mean, Jesse, and you and me and Kevin will have to talk about this, but because that's one thing that I'm noticing that I need to figure out to get more penetration with people who want to get in this, so we can turn on revenue finally after all this time.
I've got an idea cooking around in my head right now. You might be interested in
the cold calling, the SMS, that kind of stuff. That's actually kind of got people into trouble. Like I didn't want to build a dialer, but I'm trying to figure out how to actually get that. Because I don't think people need to be calling 10,000 people. This is going to give them a lot better information because there are 544 foreclosure filings nationwide in the first half of 2026, January 1st to June 30th. Those people are motivated. Why? Well, you guys have seen me pull it up. Once they're in those AHJs and they're in there, they've been either served with legal papers. They know they're getting foreclosed on. This is most of this.
Yeah, you're not going to get somebody that doesn't know what the hell they want to do when you go to talk to them. Period, regardless of what you give them. And then if you're doing the Trinity, the Holy Trinity, which is what you talked about earlier, where you got 3 different offers that you can make and the different ways it's done, they're going to be listening to you and paying attention to you big time. Whereas any other time, nobody's really going to care about that. It's a whole different mindset in the people that you're dealing with up front. You're not going to run into the bullshit you do with everybody else. These people are going to be ready to get something done, either cured, sold, or whatever, to get them out from underneath this mess. And that's all there is to it. And it's about maybe 4 months before it gets to the end of these darn processes.
It's going out because I ran the 207. I ran on the 20.
I think Niles is going all the way up to December, right? Before they have the auctions at this point. At least what I saw yesterday.
It was around Thanksgiving, so it was in November. But obviously, I don't know. I have to look at the schedule because they normally do their auctions on Thursday, so I know they're not doing one on Thanksgiving.
They won't do it yet. Probably be the middle of November, and then they may have 1 or 2 in December. But the whole thing is, this thing goes quick. It's thorough.
If you see on the screen right now, it goes up till December 26th. There are 25 files, and it's actually going through right now, and it's actually going through the assessor records. So it's going through 25 foreclosures, right? I mean, for wholesaling. I'm running the wholesaling bundle, 11 skills. So we're going to see what it looks like coming out the other side. It should look good because it's actually spending quite a bit on the assessor records. So you've gone past the clerk and recorder in Jefferson County, which is where they're the AHJ. And then it gets to the assessor, so it's pulling up all that information. So it should be able to, it could generate all them at 25 and say these are good deals. Then you could almost go and just start working them. I mean, literally right away, because these are all people that know. They already know. I mean, it'll tell you in those NEDs and stuff when it was mailed out or when they were served. Some places they serve as a sheriff. In judicial, in non-judicial, they'll just serve by mail, but they still have to send it registered. So they've received it. And if push comes to shove, you can go to the lender, because you'll have the lender information, and people can go to the lender's attorney and say, this property is being foreclosed. I would like to make an offer on it. You can perfectly legally do that. You can contact an attorney. Almost anybody can, because people who have like restraining orders can use it. Their attorney can contact the person that has a restraining.
Yeah, same thing goes for bankruptcies too.
Yeah. So lawyers can contact anybody legally, and you can contact a lawyer, because the lawyer is representing the lender, not them. And if you work in an specific area, you're going to see the same attorneys pretty much all the time. You're going to see I see 10 or 12, about a dozen in Colorado that is just the same law firms, because that's all they work on, foreclosures and probate and stuff like that. So if you get in good with them, man, they might even send you business. So it's looking at the best single family candidate, and then it's going to check the official file. And
There's a term, Nate, for what you're doing here. You're producing liquidation specialists. Yeah. Because basically that's what you are to these attorneys and to these judges and all the people on the other side of the table, is you are actually a liquidation specialist. You're specializing in being able to liquidate and move and secure real estate assets of all different types just by having this tool there. And it's probably the best way to describe what you do. You're not an auctioneer.
Yeah, it's pretty cool what can be done. I mean, it's taken a little bit, but it's been thorough. So when it's searching like this, it's going through all these records. It's gone through the clerk and recorder. It's at the assessor. It could start pulling max allowable offer. It'll start looking at comps, ARV, potentially the exit strategy. It'll also start market reality assessment, and then it'll start even with the skip trace process. So it's pretty cool that way. So yes, Doris, you could even set up, like even in Pennsylvania, you could set up your own skills and particularly go and run this in your markets and set your markets up and just turn it on and watch it for 10 to 15 minutes and get some results.
Are you using Claude?
No, I'm in GPT.
Are you in GPT? I thought you went into Claude. I was confused there for a moment.
This is taking the place of Claude. You used to have to go out and use your Anthropic key, go to Claude, put this whole list of things that you wanted to do. It would build it. Then you'd have to take a copy of it, and then you'd have to bring it down to chat in the RCIC core, and you'd have to paste it there. And then you'd have to have it run it. This takes that step away. It's all... once you have this installed, you go through that one process. Once it's installed on your system there, okay, it becomes permanent unless you want to erase it. But all you have to do is push a button and it gets going. But you have to go through this, I call it population. You have to go through this population phase and get it all loaded the way you want it to with all of these different modules or skills in order of whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish there. And basically it becomes a total 100% push button system, literally. Okay. And we're trying to time it. This is the first time we actually ran this, doing it this way. But this is really what this turns into. Well, so all that other stuff you were doing is you don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, this is so new that I'm literally just we are probably the only people that are doing this in all real estate.
Oh, I'm thinking that's the case. And that outfit that you told me that sent that information to me, I looked at that, and they're another one that's really, really cool and innovative, but they're not even close to being where we are. And they're charging how much?
I mean, because
that's what got my attention. Okay, did you look at what they were charging for what they were doing?
Yeah, no shit. Everybody's charging more than we are too, and we have more.
The point being is they were right in line with what we're trying to do. Yeah. We could blow them out of the water because of that alone.
It's really
there's a lot going on out here these days, guys, and everybody just has to understand. But there's nobody going to be able to get close to anything like this. It's just not going to happen. And there's one more level above this called an agent. That once you get into that agent can put a whole bunch of these damn things. I mean, it's a whole nother ball game. Yeah, and it's kind of where we are.
Agents and the skills. And the agents can run. You can have agents run just like before when we were showing how to deploy agents. Now you could use the agents and it can go and almost automate this. We haven't done that yet. Maybe next week's Zooms will do that.
That's the next step.
Yeah. But I mean, literally this thing is going to be like people just can turn it on and, it's taken a little time, but it's been, I mean, I don't know how long.
This is what you're going to go through because you have to populate it for the first time. And then once it's all in there and it's made its first run, then it becomes automated based on what you want to set it to do. And then it'll continue to go down each one of these different skills until it reaches the very bottom. And by then somebody's already got a letter from you and a whole other stuff has already happened behind the scenes. Okay. It literally automates it from point A to point Z, the whole process. It's insane. And then you have the agents. You turn it into a matrix. You could do 300, 400, 500 different closes a month when you do it that way. It's not hard that's not out of the realm of possibilities here with the way this thing works now. It's just crazy.
And then you put your bundles also in the project. So don't put 5 bundles in one project, but then just basically like we were showing before, take it to the Capital Passport bundle, take it to 5 more skills and you just run it through the process. And it may take an hour, but you're going to start 20, 25 properties and end up getting through, what you want to do. It doesn't.
Yeah, but think about this for a second, Nate. Okay, just to give you an idea of what this really is. All right, let's step back a little bit. What you just said is it may take an hour. What you didn't say is you have 25 projects already done in an hour that would normally take you 6 weeks. That's the power of this thing, and you could set it on autopilot.
Yeah,
this thing is absolutely insane.
So what we'll do for everybody is once they get all, to help them build their own, because obviously nobody's going to probably need 50. So something.
Yeah.
Then you build another 20 or so. So that way you got some for your personal use because it does.
Put that on the list for us to talk about this weekend because we do have to kind of figure out how we're going to go about getting that done. And then be able to get it out there with everybody too. We'll have to make that. That'll take a little more creativity. So put that on the list to talk about this weekend.
There's 2 bundles that deal with because there's 50. There's 2 more. There's actually 60, but the other two sets are more. One's for setting up all your funnels and your marketing. There's 5 skills, and there's another one that sets up your business. It helps launch your business and all that. So. And then, of course, there's the Ventil ones are separate on what time for Ventil.
We had one of those. We did have that how to set up your business in the files to begin with. We brought that in. It's one of the things that we were teaching a while back.
But now
it's all part there for that. You put it in this little module. It's going to be great.
Everything's. I mean, Kevin. It's just like I've been telling you on the phone though. It's really just we need to get this in front of more people.
Yep, I agree. And I think the 3 of us get together this weekend and let's just sit down and get all this stuff dialed in because we're definitely at that point right now. And then
we can turn on the subscription.
After seeing did you send that on? Did you send the same thing you sent me to Jesse?
No, I will because he's been busy.
Okay, get him a copy of that too because that's it right there. That's basically tells us where we are because his prices and everything and the way he's built it. It's still way, way underneath. It's really a good piece of software, but they're expensive as hell.
No, are you talking about Carbon?
No, I'm talking about the one you just sent me about 45 minutes ago.
Okay, that's something completely different. They do.
Yeah, I know it, but that's what I'm saying. That was better than Carbon, but it still is way, way down the food chain as far as the performance. And look at the price of it, though.
All they do is direct mail. Then there's another one that I was looking at today.
That's it.
And
it's like $1,000 at a time, and then you have to pay for you're paying the wholesale mailing rates or advertising rates.
Those are separate companies. Because I sent you Carbon one yesterday.
But you're getting like $300 a month from them, and then you have to pay the advertising costs on top of that. So you've got this, and you're basically dealing with 1,000 leads.
Yeah.
Okay, just 1,000. Now with this thing here, there is no such thing as limits.
Yeah, but I mean,
okay, and they're charging more per month than we are.
Okay, except that, hear me out. So the one that I just sent you earlier, they only do direct mail, so they mail. So there are hard costs because they have to pay for the postage and the actual envelope. What do they deliver it? The one I sent you.
Yeah, that's the main thing right there. That's where the little niche is. There's another one that he sent me. Oh God, it's been about a week ago, and he's got a different take on the same basic thing.
Yeah, and I've got it here in my project, so I can pull it up to you. There it is, XPLE.
Yeah, XPLE. Yeah, that's what we were going to be working on tomorrow.
Because Carbon those guys are doing.
They're very basic, and it's like it's a couple $100 a month right there. And then you got it. They charge you like almost $300 to set it up. This other outfit didn't have a setup fee, but the Carbon does. So you are out at least a couple of grand before you even get any kind of traction. Is what I'm getting at. But the thing of it is, you always have to babysit and play with it. This thing is a set and forget setup, and it does everything. It is a whole another ball game, and we're charging. I mean, you look at what these guys are charging. We got a long way to go on that.
Well, no, we can activate.
We're way underboard. Yeah,
it's all set up for that. By Tuesday, I'll have it all revamped and everything's written, and nothing's going to change. It's actually going to look the same as far as the dashboard.
It's going to work better a lot. It's going to work a lot better.
You know, if they want lifetime, probably as of October 1st, if they want lifetime, it's $3,500. It's not going to be $399. If they want the monthly, it's going to be like $399 for.
I think their lifetime was like $2,250.
Yeah.
And it's just not even 1,000th of the size of what we do here. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. It's good. It's great, fantastic stuff. But you got to buy a bunch more stuff in other places and put your own thing together. And that's basically what Nate's already taken care of. That's what Core does.
The limits are dialer. I don't want to do that. And I don't want
No, that's ridiculous. Isn't that is one of the other options they had, I think, was a dollar.
Yeah,
is that the other one?
Those are just like too much because it's like all these.
It's a lot of work, a lot of troubles.
I mean, to store 90,000 leads on your system, you would have to have servers. Like that guy saying, "I have 90,000 leads." Well, first of all, there were 227,000 foreclosure filings. How the hell did you just generate 90,000 out of thin air? And I called that guy.
The math don't add up.
I called that guy out, and he deleted his post.
Yeah, that math don't add up.
No, he's like,
the thing about this thing is, though, those guys are speculating about everything. Okay, with RCIC, either it is or it isn't. There is no ambiguous result because whatever you tell it to do is what it's going to give you. Okay?
Because people ask me what normalization and all that stuff is, and that's exactly what it is. It's verification.
Yeah. But this is going to be so exact and so comprehensive that nobody's going to be able to touch it.
Yeah,
and it's here. It's right here, right now. Something to think about.
Yeah. I'm just going to see if it's,
is it done yet? Still working.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Something's coming up.
Well, sometimes maybe I just want to see if it's.
Okay, verified the foreclosure file jet dates and documents. It's search 2 web. See, that's only 2 websites at this point. It is, like he said, he doesn't sit there and scrape. He strip mines. This is what happens when you go there. See, it's going so deep, it's ridiculous.
Because it's going to the county clerk and recorder, and then it's going to the tax. I mean, it's the same website, Jefferson County's website, but it's going to 2 departments in the county.
What is today? This is Thursday, so that'd be a new list that you got right there that's working on right now.
It was 25 or so yesterday. I forget how many there were. There are 207 altogether foreclosure filings between.
Well, it's after hours Thursday evening, so you're probably getting the latest version here.
Hey Jesse, you want to hear something ridiculous though? I'm gonna stop pulling the evergreen ones because I actually know 2 people now in foreclosure. Because it's my hometown.
Oh, right.
I know 2 people now in foreclosure.
Yeah,
Danny
happens,
knows.
man.
So
Life
one of
I
happens.
can
Yeah.
see it too.
because one of them owns the Wilbur, which is the saloon, and that's where and Danny was helping the guy out, and he got in trouble because he
Is he one of them?
yeah, Patrick.
Oh, no
He
shit. Oh,
almost
God,
took
give me
one
that
thousand
one.
dollars. He almost took one
I'd
thousand
love to
dollars.
have that one.
He took a loan out against his house to buy the Wilbur, and he fell behind. And Danny was working for him, and it's he's there's a war between Little Bear and Cactus Jackson, everything because of the music, like and all that stuff. And I don't know, man. It's like I heard Patrick because you heard Danny tell you about all the shenanigans that were going on, like he was paying employees with Venmo and all that.
Yeah. He had a low man. That guy he was one big shenanigan. Listening to
He's like,
Danny and all the stuff he was talking about, and then he just up and boogied and left for like 3, 4, 5, 6 months. He said he was going to be there for was going away for a weekend, and Danny got stuck with that thing for 4 to 6 months later full time because the guy he just disappeared. And then he came back. I mean, I don't know how you can get any more bizarre than that. And this place it's no slouchy place. This place has got some pretty good character to it, and you see that kind of treatment. But then the gal that owns that owns the real estate, she's a real piece of work, and you kind of put the two together, and that's basically what you get. You
you're
know,
talking about Judy.
they're
Yeah,
made for each other in some ways.
Judy's
That's
she's the kind of an idiot. But the problem is she owns the Muddy Buck property and all.
what I'm saying. She owns the real estate, and he owns the bar. And both of them are like, well, it's it's the craziest thing you ever seen. So it's no wonder it's that way.
She owns the Muddy Buck property. She owns that section because Ron Lewis, well, he just passed away. He was like 97. He just basically his family and the Grimes family owned a lot of the other real estate in downtown, and then the Grimes
Yeah.
family owned a ton of real estate up in Blackhawk and Central City, and they sold it all off to the
Yeah, did they come into it? I think my understanding is they came into it back in the early '80s when we all were putting Central City and Blackhawk on the. Those were the first two places in
Grimes.
Colorado that were going back into gambling. Was when I was doing it. I had to vote on that thing, and
Yeah.
there was a big rush of people that went up there before that vote. And if I'm not mistaken, that's when those guys went up there.
Well,
A lot of
it wasn't
people just
supposed to
cleaned
be.
out when they went up there.
It wasn't supposed to be like the glitzy ones that they have now. Like definitely the Las Vegas ones came in later on because at first it was supposed to just be the small mom and pops, and I knew some
Well,
people.
this is going to be an ambient thing, like in a formal saloon, kind of kind of a look like you'd see in fucking Maverick or something. You know what I'm saying? It was going to be one of those kind of deals down in both those locations. That's what it was supposed to be, and they were going to have some Hollywood components and some fucking. I mean, they had a real plan that they were going to go in there and do this stuff with. Okay, this was back in the early '80s. I thought it was pretty interesting, but I didn't know where it was going to end up. So it's kind of interesting when you see what's happening with it.
Yeah, but I mean, a little bit. I don't know what's going on with that. But like I said, I'm going to stop pulling evergreen because I end up knowing two people in foreclosure at the same time. And then
Well, I have to get his information and make a little phone call.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, just think of it this way: a Stevenson is going up into downtown Evergreen to pick up see what I'm getting at? Um, that's what the headlines would be.
So this is taking. I mean, this has been thorough. It's definitely digging.
See, you're 38. Well, it's only been going for about 20 minutes at this stage. This is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, so it'll dig deep, deep, and it's gonna dig really deep. And then I'll show you guys XSplit. It's pretty. XSplit's kind of cool. The guy, you pay $30, it sends out 1,000 emails, and it goes out to.
Yeah,
You can put your CSV in there and all that. It doesn't go to spam.
but you got to pay a monthly. It's not just that, but you also have to pay $200 or $300 a month, and then there's a $300 setup fee just to get in to be able to do that.
No,
They got to.
that's
That's
the one I sent you today. XSplit.
Yeah, it's just crazy what people are doing because if you look at this thing, I mean, yeah, there's no comparison. So we have all this done, and it goes out and gets everything that's going on. And this is the foreclosure mode, right?
Yeah, this is because I put in for wholesaling. This is
basically wholesaling. Yeah. I mean,
this
it's Christmas.
This is the 11 skill wholesale sequence. County HJ
11 skills?
County.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. I'll get my glasses on here. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is doing the whole thing here.
So it's gonna the best candidates, and it's gonna separate verified facts from items.
Search they're up to 5 websites up to this point. Wait a minute. Oh, it's got a lot of stuff. We didn't see
there,
this.
and then it's here, and then now they're searching 2 more because now they're going through the foreclosed, the debt file dates, and all that. It went through 5 websites. Now it's going through 2 more.
This is basically the ASJs here, county.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be so interesting to see this come up.
Yeah, we're going to have. It's looking for junior liens, taxes, ownership, condition, actual value, single family,
bankruptcy,
yep.
Tax. All that's going to come up out of this. Anything that can make an adverse position or reverse position of the property, well, this thing will pick it up. If you've got any liens, contractors' liens, what the hell's the neighborhood association liens, all these different things that could come into play here, this thing is going to pick them up. I mean, there will be nothing left to chance. So this is this is about as close as you can get to actually having the title work completed.
Yeah.
This blows the crap out of a certain, what the heck was Lee calling it? Can't remember the name of the damn thing. There's a process that he's got. Basically, it's $25 to run a report, but
CDNA.
This just blows that out of the water. You know what I'm getting at? You remember what they called that?
The CDNA.
Yeah, the DNA. Yeah, this thing blows DNA reports from those guys out. I mean, just completely obliterates them. It's just, if you're going to have a comparison, it's probably the closest comparison to this is his DNA reports. If you were to take and find these things and send all these files to them, if they've got the money, they'll do every single one of them because they'll find a way of making it work because the paperwork is so strong that they can't discount that you know what you're doing. And that counts to about 40% of the actual fees and time that they use is how much experience you have playing with this. And you don't necessarily have to have closed a single deal yourself, but this kind of stuff, when they take a look at it and all these other places that you're taking to go get your money from are all going to go, holy crap. So it makes the funding part, which in my view is always the hardest part, a breeze. And that's where this is going to come up to next once ever this actually gets done. Looks like more just popped. See here, 510. We think here. Whoa, where are we at here?
No, I just
nope.
I just refreshed.
Right.
So it'll take to populate. It'll take a second to repopulate because I hit refresh on it.
So let's add more stuff. Oh yeah. So you're checking Jefferson County. Well, that's already been looked at. Okay, here we go.
Refresh, so just to kind of now it's going to work it a little bit more.
Okay. Junior or fifth edition. Oh yeah. This right here, in my opinion, is the heart of real estate investing. It is multifamily, and
then you can.
This is right in there. This is right in there with it because you can roll it. I mean, same day closes on this thing can get you $500,000 a day if you have the right setups. Because there's some stuff in here that was like what I think one of them was like 125,000, but the actual value was over 600 grand. I think was one of them that we ran into a couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
Okay. And you get one of those kind of situations, and this thing can find them all over the place.
And there's one that was 23 in Leesburg, Florida.
Yeah, this is working on 25 right now, right?
Because I pulled them from
okay.
Michael.
Privy used to do that kind of stuff back in the day.
Because I pulled him for him because he went to Leesburg and it was for driving for dollars. By the time he got to Leesburg when he was driving, I got it to him and he was able to go and just hit the houses that were on the list. And he already had.
So he got it.
Yeah, he
Like
already
he
had
could do that at breakfast, put the computer in the car, drive, and start hitting everything.
Yeah, no, you started in your laptop in your car if you have the ability to.
I mean, you could dialing for or driving for dollars lists
Yeah, I mean,
doing
and
this.
I put something together for that. Like, hey, start it
That's a
like,
couple $100 a pop.
and then it makes a plan for you, so you can be more efficient. You don't have to go to look at 100 houses. You can go look at the 12 that are actually available as low hanging fruit. And then after you get those, and start working the other ones around the neighborhood, just like I used to with roofing. I told you that story when I did roof. Paul and I would go put letters on the doors of the neighbors telling them, "Hey, we're putting a roof on. You know, if there's going to be some debris, if there's any debris, you feel free, call me and I'll come pick it up." And that helped a lot. A lot of neighbors would come over and talk to us when they're putting the roofs on because they were like, nobody ever did that before. Like I would tell them, hey, we tell them sometimes, shit, we had the Denver Housing Authority ones that we did, and we had to tell people we were turning their cable off, because we were gonna have to, or their satellite dishes. If they had satellite dishes, we told them because Denver Housing Authority was making us take the satellites off. They weren't authorized. And they're like, well, you guys are gonna take them off anyway for the roof, right? We'll just leave them off. And so I tried to be like, I'm not the bad guy when I take your satellite off and leave it off. I've been told to. So we had to be, telling people that don't have their satellite to babysit their kids anymore. It's like
now they got to go ahead and do Starlink, the second part of it.
This is before Starlink. It was 2013 and 14.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I used to try to communicate with that was because they were housing authority people. The housing authority that never told the neighbors.
Well, they got these portable ones now that they used to have back in your day when you were serving in the field. Yeah. Everybody, they got that. That's basically what Musk has got going on now. So you can just set one of those little setups out there on your back porch or back patio, and you're good to go, and you don't have to worry about it. You got a deck or something on the multifamily, you just set it out there like a piece of furniture.
Yeah, this has been thorough. I mean, that's just
it is.
I thought it would, but if it's thorough, it's going to be awesome.
So we've had it about a half hour now.
Yeah.
I think it was averaging around 25 minutes when we were doing the smaller, shorter kind of stuff.
Yeah, and this is
getting faster, but it's getting a lot more thorough too.
Well, it's because it's running 11 skills. We ran that with like only 2 or 3 skills.
Yeah. How far you got down the list, or can you tell?
I can't tell. Obviously, I'll try to tweak it and see if there's a way to, but I'll see what it looks like.
Is that way you're going to keep up with where it's at?
Because I'm like, you go do this, pull it, go get breakfast in the morning, and then when you come back, it's like, it's done.
Yeah. If you had an idea when it was going to be done, you could make arrangements and scout, But if you're taking it on the road with you on a laptop, it doesn't really matter, or cell phone for that matter.
Yeah, you can do other things while you're doing it.
I think it's so portable, it's ridiculous.
Because you can set GPT to actually notify you when a project's done. It'll ping you. It's checking assessor records, and it's not as
so now it's looking at that.
Yeah,
probably coming up with a history as far as what the valuations are and working on the ARV.
It's like that guy that was trying to tell on that apartment in Denver on Florida Avenue. And he was saying, here's a good story for you, Jesse and Doris. So some guy on one of these groups on Facebook and it was in Denver. So I was like, that's the worst thing you can do is get me to get to in one here where I can go by and drive by it. I actually knew where this apartment complex. And I was able to pull up the exact, like literally, obviously, if there's units in that building that have the exact same floor plan, it's going to have, and it's basically the last unit when it was fully renovated sold for $309. This guy was telling people his would sell for $365. There's no way to support it.
Oh yeah.
And I called him out on that, and another one where he deleted it. It's like, don't try.
Yeah, you can't lie about what's going on. It's going to tell you straight up. Again, like you're saying, either it is or it isn't. There's no in between, and it finds this stuff, and you're going to know if somebody's pulling some kind of crap anyway that it can happen. This thing is going to flush it out. I mean, if somebody's messing around with deed, you've seen this deed problems people having stealing deeds and stuff like that. It's going to flush any bit of this history out. So you're going to know everything it needs to know, and you're not going to. When you give this to a title company, they're going to go, okay, where do we sign? because it's going to be so thorough with this kind of stuff.
This house for MRA just to test 80127. Like they're telling people it's in the Meadows. This is a subdivision. There's probably, I forget how many houses they built in the Meadows.
I don't know, but that's one of the areas that's going up in value like crazy.
Well, because you got to know that if they built tract homes, they built the same model.
Yeah,
so they're able to find the exact same model, the last one, and so that model that sold, and they should not. I mean, other than an unfinished basement that might be finished different, because my aunt and uncle still have an unfinished basement even now. On it, and they bought that house. It was built for them in 1982, 83.
Oh, that's a quick $5,000 a month income in the right conditions. Just just getting that up and running.
Yeah, it's like you can find out that information, get the exact models, and have the exact floor plans, and it's easy to do comps that way. Hey, there's the last 10 of that model that sold.
And there's a lot of the land up there, these lots that are playing around in other areas that you can stick those on too. Having actually went up there and explored that a few years back. It wasn't just sitting around. We were driving around looking at a bunch of shit when we were doing some stuff up there for when we got together with Inga. We were doing just about everything we could get our hands on. And we was looking at different things that were up there as far as lots and some of the other things that was going on. It's definitely a very interesting place to go and play if you're going to do any kind of real estate investing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's taking a little longer, but hey, it's going to be thorough, I think, because there's 11 skills. I mean, that's the best.
This is it. You're doing the start to finish. I thought you were just going to run one.
Oh,
so this is it right here. This is where all the marbles are. When it gets done with this, you got the end result down there. And you could go all the way down to having it going ahead and writing the offer out and mailing it off and, closing the deal if you wanted to.
Because it's got the at, so it's actually saying it where it's at Jefferson County Assessor.
If you're doing a foreclosure thing, it's sending everything that they have on all the different addresses on their skip trace. It's doing everything.
Yep. So I'll test it this weekend and see if you can actually run this and then have it send you it on email.
Well, we could probably do that. I could probably set that up this evening if you wanted to do that, or tomorrow morning and get that going.
No, I'll do it this weekend. I got a few things I want to do tonight.
Because I'm going to be installing that too. That's what I was going to say. I could go ahead and start one up. That's what I got to do is get that installed. Jesse, you got to get it installed too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, this is the one we have to. This is the one we got to use. And I got a couple of ideas I want to do a little more research on tomorrow, but I think I might have a way of getting this out in the open here.
So sourcing, verify, analyze, offer, contract.
So that's that one program.
Close. Public records, property identified, analyze and value, offer and contract, buyer network, close and disposition.
So that's the end game on this particular program he's running. It'll start by finding an address, and it'll take you all the way to closing the deal.
I mean, you still got to contact the people and all that stuff, but yeah, it's going to do all the administrative stuff. Because I don't want to tell people, hey, this is going to do everything, including that. It's going to do everything but the physical contact. We're staying out of that. Because it has sometimes where it's like I've thought it was slowed or bogged down, and then I'd go and refresh, and then it was done already. So I've always, that's just something that comes up a lot of times and different things I've done with GPT. But this looks like it's going to be thorough. It's running 11 skills. I mean, it's quite a lot of,
This is the final product.
It's running 2 different bundles.
You got 2 different bundles? That's 2 different days.
Bundles only 5 skills. I said I wanted 10 bundles of 5. Because some of them don't all, you don't need all, so when you run the sequence, then some of these are multiple bundles.
Yeah, and if you get enough people doing that, it has an influence.
Yeah.
And this is where this is going to get real interesting because it's going to happen quick. So I think that's right there is where I was talking about. It was saying something about there'd be some stuff in December, but most of it's going to be in November on those auctions for this particular set of stuff.
Yeah, this is mostly scheduled for December 2026, but there were 207.
I think it was like the 2nd or something. It was early December is when they were talking about.
Yeah, because you got 100 in Colorado, you have 110 days.
Yeah, that sounds about 110. I knew there was a little different in that regard. But...
So, Doris, do you have any questions on this? Because you can do this with multifamily.
Yeah, you can do this with anything you take your mind to.
Yeah, no,
which is just up your scale.
It does. I mean, I'm kind of speechless here. I'm trying to wait to see what's going to come up because I feel like I'm a little kid in a candy store. You know,
exactly.
I don't know. I don't know what to anticipate. I don't know what I'm going to see, and I'm like, well, okay. You know,
I don't want to.
I know what all these different ones do because I've tested them. I don't know right now what they are.
What the end game is.
Yeah. I mean, wholesale is not one of my strong suit. You know, wholesale not my strong suit, but if it could be productive, I maybe could persuade it into looking at it as a stream of income. I have no shame in my game.
20 minutes.
Well, no, I mean, you're able to actually, do multifamily. Because the thing is for us, what a lot of the groups that I'm in now that I'm trying to promote are the wholesaling groups because I mean they're all over the place, and I'm like, I'd like to.
Well, that's where the money's at anyway. You know, you got instant
those
cash.
guys
You know what you're doing there.
Yeah.
What,
and that's what this thing's built for. Yeah, this thing is built for this, and this is probably the best use of that. And you could do it both commercial as well as residential, single family. It's the same formula. They're transferable. And you don't really have to worry so much about the T12s or any of that kind of stuff because this does market-based research. And you can get that if you want, if it's published or anything, but a lot of it is just basically comparable pairings in the market research.
You may still need to pull them for the lender.
Yeah, and it's more, well, that's just it if you need a lender. Because at that level, you're looking for investors. You're not looking for lenders. And we know where they're at. We do know where they're at. When you get into Capital Passport, which is in this thing that's running right now, it will look all this stuff up and it will put you together with the proper source. And I think we're working on trying to get MPLA completely loaded in there and fully up and functioning is one of the things we want to get done this fall. We've already talked about trying to get that going. We just try to figure out if we can get that done next, in September. But the whole point that I'm trying to get at is when you get that going, it won't matter because it will find and put all that together. And it's just that simple. And it does all that. So it depends on what's going on, but it puts it all together. And it's just the damnedest thing I've ever seen. This makes sliced bread, best things than sliced bread. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
How else can you sell it? So we're just trying to get our heads wrapped around why nobody's figured this out yet. Well, and that's kind of what we're doing this weekend is we're all getting together to try to figure out how to kick this pig and get it through the door here. Because under these circumstances, it should be it's a no-brainer.
Go get 100 people monthly.
Yeah, I mean, look what these guys that are doing these little one-offs are charging months. So their stuff is $200, $300, $400 a month, and their setup fees are like $300, $400, and this, that, and it just keeps going on and on and on. But yet it gets to a certain point and it stops, and you got to bring in somebody else's stuff, and you got to put 4 or 5 of these modules together, and you're spending $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month doing this. Okay, we got it down to the point where we're less than $4,000, and you got the whole thing for life, regardless. And none of this bullshit about monthly this or monthly that or any of that crap. Okay? So, in other words, why aren't they jumping all over this shit right now? See? That's what we got to figure out. That's where we're at.
Well, remember when we were looking at prop and they had that outrageous, it had that outrageous fee.
The numbers didn't none of the numbers worked out. They just didn't make any sense. Okay, if you run that through here, you're going to get your answers. And I mean, it's going to go, either they're doing something funny or they're not, but it's going to show up when you run it through here. There is nothing that is left behind. Okay, I'm telling you, there are Chinamen, but they're out in the middle of the ocean on a barge waiting for Nate to show up. Okay, this thing digs, and it digs, and it digs, and it digs, and it just digs. Okay, there's nothing it leaves behind on anything that it does all the way through the process. It's the most thorough, comprehensive piece of software that you can put together, and it just so happens to be in real estate. But you can't describe it in any other way unless you actually watch it do this. So that's kind of what we're doing this week. That's what we're doing this weekend. That's on. All three of us are going to get together this weekend, and we're going to get all this stuff put to bed because we're right there at that point where it's not hard to explain to anybody. People see it once and it's over with. And now we're finding all these other issues that we're seeing with these people and what they're producing. And now we're going to try to figure out how to make it fit. And I don't know how these people make any money because they're just charging too much for what they're putting out there. But then again, people probably don't know that much about this, but we can use the as seen on or in investor fuel, right? We can use that moniker. I think that was part of the package that we got for doing that. We've got three of us. All three of us have actually been exposed to that. Jesse has too. About a year and a half ago?
Arizona, Colorado, state of Colorado, state of Colorado, and Jefferson County.
So did it pop?
Not yet. It's probably. And then here's Property Search Jeffco, and then it's comparing it to Redfin.
Yeah, there you go. Now we're getting somewhere.
That's the code. That's the code. Don't read it.
You pull up the code?
No, you don't want to read
You don't have to do any of that crap in here. When we first got started, we had to, the little prompt down there were half in English and the other half of it was in code, and you had to copy and paste all that over here, then drag it over there to go up there, and now they had us on a roller coaster there for a while. I mean, it was good. It was
April
fun.
was rough.
Yes, it was. Oh my God. This is so much better, though. This is a massive night and day difference. Well, isn't that where you found it? You could pull this together then? Was in July?
No, but in April was when it was like.
I'm talking about last July, not this past July.
Yeah, I mean, it's working, it's searching.
I was still working on my brother's stuff all the way up into March, and then that's when everything changed. And I had this darn crap with they did finish get my paperwork straight out of my house. That happened this last week, year and a half after they messed it up. But that doesn't mean they're clear of any kind of liability at this point, because I'm getting all kinds of bad mail and shit showing up.
That's where it's at.
So it means that there was a breach of sorts that they're going to have to account for. I think I've picked up close to $100,000 in active credit cards with pins have been sent to my house. Okay, and the smallest one was $25,000 in credit limit, and I'm like, okay, this shit didn't used to happen either, So this county's got a lot to account for.
So it's up to the assessor that's getting all the property records. Division, neighborhood, tax district. All interact. This is the assessor's office.
Yeah, this is where the rubber meets the road.
It's right there. That's
you got about 80% of your ARV is in this report.
Yeah, I mean, what are we looking at? It's pulling a lot of stuff right now. And we can't, if we're going to
Senate Bill 22-238. Value, it's doing all that.
Wanting to watch it. I'm just talking to the people that are watching this on video, not the people that are live on here right now. I will, if we have to end it because it's goes too long, I'll still let it run and give you guys. I'll post it when it does come out because it's it is digging deep.
Well, if you have to turn it off. But I like to see the end of
this.
No,
you don't turn this off.
If it goes
no,
there is
for
no
legal reason. No. in terms of recording, because legally Nate can't show information because it's personal
But
information.
he's not. That's what I'm saying. We're coming down to the end of a
It's not gonna
conclusion on a.
show, no, it's not going to show the personal information like that was.
No.
No, this won't, because I'm not going to pull those.
Where it's screwed up is we didn't have the filter on it set right, and it went that way, and we didn't know it until after they complained about it.
It was YouTube,
And
it's like,
yeah, we've since made the adjustments, and that's why we're able to do this. So, and we're having to get all the tech that they're using to check all this stuff to understand what we're doing. It's weird.
and when it comes
PayPal's
up,
been a pain in the ass. I mean, all these different places.
when I pull the NADs now, if I come up, I'm not even going to show them very long. I'm just going to show here's where I got it. I'll quickly show people where things are, and then I'm like not even showing the actual. I'm trying not to show the actual names.
Yeah, I mean, it's all public records.
Yeah, I mean, I can show people in the menu, like go pull up this, and this will have the names and stuff. But I'm not going to pull it up where the names are. I'll just show I'll just show people where to go.
And this is basically, it's not really a human that's checking this. It's an algorithm. And you end up tripping all this stuff because, that's the way it works. So he's figured out a few workarounds on some of this stuff. It works out pretty good.
Yeah.
And then he designed a couple in there. You put a couple workarounds in the system itself. So some of them are even actually designed in the system.
Showing Patrick's information.
Yeah, there you go. And making sure you broadcast it globally. Okay. Make sure it's thorough.
No, it was like,
we want to make sure he has plenty of offers, is what I'm saying. Okay.
It's like, I don't want anything bad to happen because some of my friends work for him.
I mean, you're not biased. You're not charging him anything, and you're not getting any kickbacks.
But I saw him a couple of weeks ago.
But it's evergreen. You can do that. Okay. There we go.
I saw him at the grocery store, and I was like, I knew this already. And I was like, fuck, I don't really want to go talk to him because it might just actually come out that I know he's in foreclosure.
Oh man. And that's that guy that. See, I need to work that one because if I could get that, then I could probably walk in there and see if there's anything that can be done with a little bear, and that would make life a perfect place to just retire doing that.
And trade him for like 25% a little bear.
Well, that's just it. If I could get in there, grab his place, and then be able to go in there and get control of the little bear, I'd be happy. I mean, that's it. That's my retirement. That's the whole thing.
You still got to pay rent to Judy.
But the whole point of the matter is, you know as well as I do that after we get done with all this, we own her anyway. Okay, we're going to walk in there and basically decimate her bullshit because we're going to have so much different influence when it goes to real estate and everything else that goes in that county. There's no way that she's going to be able to compete with that. That's the problem. See, we're going to hit her over the head with her own shit. That's how you beat people like that. I've been working on that for about a year and a half now, trying to figure out how to do that. And this thing here takes care of that.
No, I wish
I'm getting 200-300 listings a month on Movado on the evergreen market.
Yeah,
okay, this thing this thing is a hot market. It is not stale, but if you look at the records, whenever this thing pops up, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is like the nirvana or the place to be if you're going to do any kind of single family flips. This is the perfect market for it. If you can model other markets after this one, you got it made.
Yeah, this is doing a thorough search. So I apologize for boring everyone. We're trying to entertain you.
Think it's right? You think it's writing a book?
Yeah. Feel free to take a nap.
Yeah.
It's worth the wait. It's worth the wait.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
It's part of it. See, this is when you're supposed to have your popcorn out there, and you got a picture sitting out in front of you, and you're at the pool. All this, this is what this is all about. You're supposed to be in the tropical beach somewhere. Okay, that's all you got to do is think about being there while this is going on.
Don't get movie theater popcorn, because when I went to see Pressure, the movie ticket was $8 for the matinee, which I was like, hey, this is reasonable. Then I went up to the snack counter. I hadn't been in a movie theater since Top Gun Maverick, and I was like, how much is this small drink? $29. I'm like, screw that. I can go to the bar next door and drink like 4 Guinness and
drink a whole bottle of scotch for that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
$29.
Probably $40 for a thing of popcorn.
No, it's $29 for the popcorn and the drink, and that was small.
$29.95 with a drink. Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
And I
Yeah,
said,
that's so much better. Okay. Yeah, they'll just throw a
because I
couple
wanted to see Super
micro
Troopers.
cents of fucking corn in there and a
I
little
want to see Super
box.
Troopers 3, which is out now, but I'm just going to wait for it to come out on streaming because I can get on streaming for like $6.99, and then I can go to Dollar Tree and or get a bag of popcorn and get a couple sodas and not spend $10.
Yeah.
But I
And
will
sit up
go to the
there
theater
at the lake.
I will go to the
Sit
theater.
up there at the lake in the middle of the summer evening there and watch it.
I will, because I will go and spend money on Spaceballs too next year.
Yeah.
Because right now I think I'm pretty much going to have to use Capital Passport to be able to
Well,
to
anything anymore up there is like
to
that. Yeah.
negotiate popcorn and a drink. I'm going to have to check. I'm going to have to do a deep dive in Capital Passport.
Yeah. Yeah. Going to probably have to set up our own, some kind of an organization to track everything. The popcorn and the movie popcorn and Tota's module, and how where to get it and under what conditions and contracts and pre-grain buys for your popcorn seeds and
because I don't see people going back to the theaters a lot. I mean, kids can't afford to go to movies like they used to, like high school.
No. And there aren't any drive-ins anymore. I mean, I think I might have one here in Kansas City out of about 40.
There's that drive-in at 88 in Denver North up by the flea market. I think it's still.
Yeah.
They've always said that it's about to close and that it doesn't. The one down here in Santa Fe has been apartments for like 10 years. I remember that one.
Well, I think we've got one left here. I know we have at least one, the Boulevard.
That's a good, because you remember where that one is, like Santa Fe and Hampton. This is a good story from Jesse too. So I used to, when I was back working at Foothills Fire back in 98 and 99, we had a couple of our volunteers work for this Premier ambulance, and they were like a private company. They just did like transfers and stuff. So most of them were just either paramedics fresh out of paramedic school, and they were waiting to get hired by, other like fire departments and stuff. And so they would try to break their ambulances because they had these old piece of crap ambulances, so they wouldn't have to go on calls. Like they would try to and so there was a drive-in theater, and they parked behind the drive-in theater to watch the drive-in movie because sometimes they'd be able to watch a whole movie in between calls at night, and they'd have a little speaker. They could turn the radio on. They figured out which frequency it was on because they'd be close enough, and who's going to come over and tell the ambulance to move. And then they decided one night they were going to cut a tree down so they have a better view. So they got a chainsaw, took it with them to work, and they went and cut a tree down so they have a better view. I was like, I wonder how that was going to be explained the next morning when the people that own the office building next door to the drive-in come in. There's a tree that's been cut down.
Perfect.
Yeah, dude. We did some great stuff in that department. We did a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah. They had a wall of shame for anybody that damaged the truck or damaged equipment. And I was only on there for damaging a license plate. I bent the license frame, not the plate of the command vehicle of a Chevy Suburban. That was it. That's all I did in 5 years. That's all I did to damage the truck. So I was like, I did pretty good on that.
Yeah, ain't bad.
And it was a generic one, so I was able to go to Walmart and replace it, and no one knew. I just put it on the wall myself. The wall of shame came down when one of the chiefs backed into an overhead heater, because he wanted to wash his car in the bay, so he could wash it. So he moved a truck that doesn't fit in the other bay into it, and he hit the overhead heater, and it set the station on fire. And we're like, we're not supposed to burn our own station down. But literally about a month later, they took the wall of shame down because I was like, how do you put a fire station on it didn't burn. I mean, literally they put out the fire, but it was like the flame was at the theater going towards the ceiling. It's like, how do you put a fire station on the wall of shame?
Oh.
It was funny. Yeah, this is taking a while. We're almost going to be in an hour.
Yeah, this output's going to be interesting to look at.
Because I do wonder, sometimes I've been able to like get out of it and come back to it.
But see, this is doing everything though. This is from start to finish. This isn't just each independent module. This is the first time that the entire system has been designed and run this way, and that's why this is so much different. It still may only take you an hour or two, and it's only going to get faster, and it has been. But if you're doing, about 4 to 6 weeks worth of work in an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'm not going to complain about that output, not to mention the fact that it's as accurate as it is. And you basically just sign and go. I mean, it gets down to that, right? You may want to talk to some people in Capital Passport and just kind of explain to them what's going on in the initial part of things. But, that may not even be the situation anymore because of the way things are. But Jesus, there's nothing really to get in your way. And that's just insane. There's always something screwing up.
Here's the 11 skills. So, distress source list builder, lead intelligence router, property and deed intelligence.
Yeah, to change over, Nate.
ARV analyst, rehab scope.
Share screen.
Wholesale deal analyzer, wholesale offer and MAO architect, wholesale rules and disclosure navigator, purchase agreement assistant, disposition and buyer match engine, transaction to close coordinator. Those are the 11 skills that are being run now.
Can you scroll down and see what it has given us?
Yep.
Nate?
It's just giving us it's still working.
No, I mean the sidebar, because I'm quite sure it got more.
Yeah, I don't think
it's locked out.
Yeah, it's not going to show.
Oh, okay. No, I'm like I said, I'm like a little kid in the candy store.
Well, no, I am too.
Everybody's waiting on this because this is the ultimate. This is the final version of everything that we've been working on for, I don't know, how many years now? This is it right here.
If you can,
this is the end of it.
A buy box in here.
I mean, like, if you're doing this, you could go set it up, go cut the grass, and come back and be ready.
Exactly.
Go take a nap.
I mean, the whole point, you've seen this shit. I mean, Gene Graziosi and all these would go out here and go out on a beach and sit there and put all their stuff up on the beach and sit and doing something like this. Well, this is it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be a little patient, I mean, if it's taking an hour or 90 minutes.
You're sitting there, you're sitting on a beach in some tropical location with a freaking Mai Tai. Why do you want to be in a hurry? This is perfect. This is like reading a book, in a lounge chair at a pool.
You hear what I said, Kevin? If I had a Mai Tai sitting on the beach, I'll put this on and I'll forget it for a while. Go get lunch and come back.
That's exactly how this thing works. And the thing of it is, you're sitting, and it's like when it comes back, it's like reading a book at the side, at the edge of a pool on your lounge chair, because you're reading the report and then you're pushing a button, go get it, please. And then you fold it up and your work day is done and you didn't do anything but spend 15, 20 minutes looking at the stuff.
I was hoping Ginger would be on because I wanted to ask her what the...
she needed to see this.
Well, no, I wanted to ask her too about the Lincoln, the carrier, because the carrier was going to Thailand for a port call. And they said those guys have 6 months of extra sea pay saved up, 6 months of pay, and they've been on a ship for over almost 300 days. And they're going to the cheapest and the sleaziest port call in the world, Thailand.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be like serious debauchery in the U.S.
I mean, this is the Jean-Claude Van Damme kind of a place that they're going into, or Chuck Norris and all that kind of stuff. That you can think about that background because that's where she was at for her leave after being out at sea for a year.
I was playing one night in Bangkok last night because it's going to be some serious. The Navy should be sending some like MPs ahead of them. They need a lot of them. 5,000 sailors that have been on an aircraft carrier for 6 months.
Yep.
But aircraft carriers have a lot of amenities that even other ships don't.
Well, they're having a time of it right now because they're basically putting it to the test. All that stuff that's going on in the Middle East right now. I mean, they're full tail boogie. They're not giving anything anyway.
Yeah. Well, what they said is that
the last time we had a naval engagement of this sort was World War II.
Yeah,
I mean, they didn't even. Korea and Vietnam didn't even come close to what this thing's been doing.
Well, those guys were gone for a couple of years, though.
Yeah, but the whole point I'm talking about is with the kind of engagement that they're into right now, they've already produced as much destruction in about 3.5 months as all those wars combined. That's what I'm trying to get at. This is a whole different ballgame now than what it was back then. The Grenada thing.
So that's why I told Matt we need to bid on some. We need to start an arms company and bid on some of that stuff because.
Oh well, yeah. You get, what the hell is it? No, I know where all that stuff is. It's not. I think it's GovX. There's a couple websites that I've got access to buy surplus military equipment and gear, and then probably going to have a higher rating than most people after I get some of the stuff that I got done because of the weather thing that I've got going on.
Yeah,
that thing, by the way, is moving along right away. I mean, rather well. We're up to over 90% accuracy after 9 months of out 9 months.
Hey, Ventel too. Also, Jesse and Doris, I built this Ventel, which is combining VIN like a car VIN and Intel. It's pretty simple. And people can look for new and used cars, and it'll also be to do diminished value for after the total losses and hail losses, and then we'll be able to put in some components for finding repairs and finding, when they tell you they can't find an engine for 4 months, you can go and find an engine.
I forgot about that Ventel project. Yeah, we're going to Stevenson's Automotive.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah, we're going to try to link in there because there's a lot of serious automotive connections there between all my cousins and all the likes of the different automotive stuff. And I got a nephew that's actually a certified technician for Musk and his little adventure. And we could go through these people and show them how to do the same kind of thing for automotive that what we're doing with real estate, we can do with automotive is what it gets down to. And we're taking that one setup and we're going to break it out. Well, I mean, Nate can give you the basics of it right now because he's already got that pretty much figured out.
And I built a Facebook group and it's free. There's a GPT. Like I said, I got the Ventel right here on my thing, and it's built, and it's free right now because we need to pump a lot of people in there to test it. I need to get inventory, but it'll basically go out and do these searches for like cars and stuff, and eventually, we'll be able to put like used car dealers put their entire inventory in and stuff like that, and people can search all like instantly. Eventually, there's a couple different ways to monetize it. It's just for everybody, and it's like there's a lot of good stuff in this, like because I had some issues with this car that I had to buy last year when I had to replace my other car, and with that car, I had the problems with that car, not the one that I have now, but I literally built this to be like my own version of Carfax, cars.com. It could get into some nice cars like the DuPont Registry that we're doing with Osmond. It could get into those kind of cars. It also has like, you'll be able to have a lot of other things in there, like parts and things, eventually, there's a lot of possibilities to go down the proverbial rabbit hole. So Michael's Bender is going to probably run it because he's in the automotive industry right now. He's trying to connect some of his dealer and stuff when he's not filing workers' comp claims.
We're probably going to have our own, like I said, when we get done getting with Kent.
Well, no, we're going to put all that into this. And Michael's just supposed to get me his dealer because he's got 7 lots and he's got like 1,000.
And your dad's got the insurance connection, so we can promote the living shit out of that too.
Well, Don has he's fired every injury attorney in Denver on his accident claim. So Paul and I joked that we're going to start Gambino Law. And our commercials would have the mafia guys kicking the crap out of the adjusters.
Oh, that's bad.
If you're intrigued,
what arbitration?
We'll send Guido and whatever Guido's partner's name is.
Man,
he's fired. I'm like, you ever tried this guy? No, fired him. Oh crap! He got hit. He got rear-ended by a semi truck.
Well, hey, while we waiting, let me ask you this silly question.
Yeah.
You know how you go into surplus?
Yeah.
Funds?
Yeah. Okay. And I know you. I think you said it's the best to go into certain states and D state as opposed to lean state because it's competitive, right?
Yeah, but we've already got a module in one of these skills that actually does all that for you.
Yeah.
Just let her ask what she's doing now, because what are you doing now on that deal?
So you can if you already know some stuff that's going on and you wanted to play with that, it's in a position right now to do that for you if you want to do that. I mean, you probably have multifamily. You'll probably end up having that and a couple other things going. And see, whenever we get all this dialed in, then I'm going to start putting my stuff in there. And I got that whole community development thing that I've got sitting in my pocket right now that's worth billions of dollars. Okay. And we're going to put that in here. And there's going to, again, the automotive thing, a lot of the stuff this is going to get really, really wild. Because when you have all these working in concert, you basically have an entire community in your grasp, and that could be any size. It could be an entire state. But if you got 20 or 30 of these going at one time, which is how this thing works, all of a sudden we've got a lot of power going on behind the scenes. And we've got probably close to 65 different people in different communities. In this country. Okay. And we've got several of them overseas. They're going to be utilizing this at this scale. At the flip of a switch.
And then you get your surplus and overbid.
That's where we're at. And then when you add all these other components, I mean, there's another one there that, Nate, you could put that together in probably a day, right? So when we get all this stuff going and getting in this damn thing, all the particular stuff that went into the Federal Reserve is going to end up being in here, okay? We're going to have a whole new economic system. It's not really new. We're going back to it. And I know what the blueprint is, and I know exactly where we're going now. It's no longer an if, it's a when. The when's already here. And where it's going to go, I know where that's going to be. So that's all in the past now, too. The whole point is we're set up on the perfect place to put this stuff together, and it's all going to happen. It's going to be like somebody flipped a light switch. It's going to happen that fast. And it's a matter of just getting everybody lined up and dialed in the right place at the right time, and boom, because we have a big enough group and we're still getting more people involved. There's a satellite area we've been filling up with flammable gas so that when our thing goes off, it ricochets out. Okay, that's basically the investor fuel people and all these people in these different groups. There's a secondary layer that's behind them that we're trying to reach out to. Well, when you got these other elements in here, all of a sudden you got at least 65, 70% of a person's life you actually have some kind of answers for. Housing and transportation. And then
it keeps saying, that's land. That's land.
We got one more thing here, okay? At the same time, you have the weather. Now, there are several ways that weather works into this thing. One of them is scheduling when you're going to go out and do some work on some houses or try to get something built or that kind of thing. But the other one, which has to do with real estate, is mining and agriculture. And you have the weather, okay? So you put all these elements together. What else is there? Well, you got to learn how to grow your food, and you got to know where to get water, and you're done, and you know how to get shelter. See, it does a lot right there. And when you start getting 40, 50% of whatever you can do to survive is in your control, then you got something really good going on. We're staring that in the face right now. Because on the other side of the coin, you got people like Trump and all these other people that are absolutely insane. And these people are absolutely perfect for fixing this mess. We've been looking for years. We've gone through probably 15, 20, 25 presidents, hoping that the next 4 years we'll finally get the person to fix the mess. He just showed up. Okay, right?
Who
but
was
he's
that?
been for the third term. Trump cleaned out the trash globally. Okay, this last weekend, if you have anything, if you move one penny, doesn't matter who you are. We know who you are. And we're going to cut you off. That includes Britain. Okay, that includes the city of London. All right, these guys have locked down the global dollar system because they're going to yank the people off the dollar system where they won't be able to trade or anything else with the dollar. And they're going to start doing that this weekend. So these people we're going into that environment with what we know and what we have here. Okay, it's all going to be going to tangible assets. And we basically have been structuring this for over 30 years in various parts. Now, it's just gotten down to the last 7 to 10 years when things is just starting to get a little more interesting. But it goes all the way back to just at the turn of the century when I came over here from Overland Park, Kansas. Okay. And it's been hell on wheels ever since. And all that stuff I got records on. When we put it in here with the way this thing already understands what's going on and is doing the funny things it's doing, add this stuff to it, it's going to be a whole nother monster. I mean, you'll have automotive, you're going to have history, you're going to have entire community development, all these elements. And it had basically been, what, the last 6 months that all this has really kind of come to a head?
Uh-huh.
Okay, now we're at the end. This is the end of the line right here. This little thing that we're looking here at is the end of the line because we're branching into these other areas, and then we're going to be sealing everything off, and it's going to go to that price structure. If we could just figure out what to do behind the scenes, get these stupid transfers all straightened out. But it's just going to be automated, and then we're going to end up going into eventually doing different. We're going to be going to different events, and then we're going to be sponsoring some events. So it's going to end up getting a lot more interesting over the next 12 to 14 months. We just have to get it out the gate right here.
We're going to probably partner with Jeremy Wanger and do his the ones by Jack.
Yeah, there's other people out there that we could kind of take a look at because they did make it over that hump. We probably should be trying to do that, but I just don't know who all they are. You probably
he's doing that. He's doing that he's going to be doing it as property. It's the same river that supplies Jack Daniels.
Okay, so you're talking about over in Lynchburg?
Yeah, for Jeremy Wanger.
What?
Yeah, Jeremy's a guy. He's in our group. But
I know who he is. What's he doing now?
Jeremy, you talked to him before. Yeah, he's got that.
Oh, you're talking about, okay. Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about. You have to say helium to me when you talk about him, okay?
So I can finally be Dan Pena.
Oh, he's got it going on. This kid's
this
not.
Thing is that they can do $5,000 I had and get 100 people.
Yeah, but this kid can do this. Well, he's already in that space. He's got several different. He's doing that stuff, and we've already talked about spreading it over and taking it and placing it all over the Ozark Plateau, which I know exactly where to put them. Have 6, 7, or 8 of these camps that you're doing the Dan Pena dance in, okay? And you're going to have the likes of Tony Robbins will drift through every once in a while. I mean, you can do this, and it's a great concept. And then you got the vacation kind of thing. You got all this kind of thing tied to it, and people will just right now they're just looking for anything to grab onto. And these are some of the events that I was talking about doing. He's
already working it, so we wouldn't have to go to the Gaylord. We would have to come up with all the money in advance.
Well, that's just it. There's other places that you can go besides that.
No,
it depends on what you're going to do. Because if you were to go, let's put it this way: we have you got to do it up in the Rockies in the summertime, okay? But when you get towards the fall and winter, deep into that part, you're already 2 or 3 months into snow up there. Down here, you still got a lot of good air to work with. Okay. And you could do just like what's going on with Matt and Leonard and what they're doing. They're just basically a hopscotch around the country based on what the weather's like for the time that they're at. And we could do all that too. So there's not a whole lot you can't do. But if you can imagine the automotive conventions that are going to be coming back in style, because now it's going to pay for all that, right? All that's coming out now. The industry is changing massively. So you can take advantage of that, and then it can tie into RCIC on the side because everybody needs a house and needs a car. Everybody needs a place of business if they have a business. You get what I'm getting at? There's a very big relation. If you want to grow food, you better have some land. All right? Everybody eats, and in this particular situation, everybody has access to it equally and ways of being able to get what they need to get what they have to have. Because there's so many different ways you can make money using real estate and transportation if you combine them together. Where did I learn that from? You want to tell everybody?
That would be Mr. Your uncle?
How long you been in that town? Okay. The nice thing about this is what I'm getting at is Nate can actually tell you
You mean
more
Mr.
about what
Charles
my family
Stevenson?
had been doing the last 30, 40 years than I know. See, because they were all around him.
So Mr. Charles Stevenson?
It's Charles Edward.
Charles Edward Stevenson.
Yep. That was his middle name.
Cool.
Now you're pulling him up, right?
I'm trying to, like,
See, I can tell what you're doing here, all right? And that's the fun part because I did that myself. I looked into the Denver media. I got into the Denver media files, and we had a few things going on with that radio station. It sounds like you're still having a fight with them. Anyway, it's the same outfit that's been giving you grief all these years. I've been able to see some stuff and some different articles. I'm like, oh my God, he did what? And then I'm like, he and Bill Coors of Coors Beer, okay, the Daddy Coors, right?
Right.
Thick as thieves. I mean, fishing buddies. I mean, the whole 9 yards. Okay, best buds. Probably was the way it was. More than likely because that kind of looked familiar. All right, I know this guy. He's my uncle. I was over here in Kansas City. He'd always fly in and out. My cousins would come in. We know each other really well. Okay, and about every 10 to 15 years, I make it up there, and every time I drop in there, it's a whole nother world. And they've got their hands in every single one of these little things, okay? And then I got my hands in on some stuff because there's a bunch of construction projects in that town and in the Rockies that my hands are directly a part of in a big way, okay? Just by supplying it through he had a relationship with the construction company that actually built the nice big Denver West office park. And it had a bank. Well, it was Denver West Bank and Trust. He owned that. This is why I'm saying I know what I'm doing when I do this bank business. And then he had, what was it? Was it a Ramada Hotel? It's like 12, 14 stories tall there on Pole Boulevard.
It's a Marriott.
It's a Marriott now? Okay, the whole point is it was all his.
Marriott West.
And he did, like 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, I was there 5 years before he started on that.
I don't remember that.
Okay, here's the thing, though. He was still in Bill Coors' what's now employment office with his dealership. In 10 years, he went from that one spot in downtown Golden to that whole thing that you saw there. And I was coming in, I think it was 1981. I was coming in just at the end of that. And I was 3 of my projects. I had like 5 or 6 projects that I had to go around Colorado to drop equipment off and payroll, okay, and all these other things because I was the guy that was I was the assistant yard superintendent. So there was only 2 of us, the yard superintendent, myself, and we had to split all the projects that this company had to go out and do supply runs. So one of them was right there at buildings 54, 52, and 55. I was involved in the tenant finish of those. That was the last 3 that were built. I think he spent around $600-700 million putting this together, and they all just sold a while back for $1.07 billion, only to go into receivership 8 months later and going for $64 million. Now, they took some of those buildings, and I'm thinking Kent did this, and broke those off and bought those. So it's not the complete thing. It's all the same architecture, but there's little sub-parks within the park now, right? But $64 million, no matter how you shake it with that kind of a setup, is not hard to pull off. Just saying. I'm going to do a little bit of research when this thing gets done playing. How much longer are we going to have on this thing? 1:30.
I'm trying to figure out because sometimes it was just.
Point being is this must be one massive. This must be some serious research and some serious lists coming out of here.
Yeah, I just don't know what it's going to take. I mean, if it's going to take because I mean it's doing some research and it's like I can leave it up, but I don't want to. I may just want to take the recording.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with it. You want to let it run. It's one of these things like you set the charges and run. You know what I'm getting at when I say that?
But I'm like, yeah,
that's what this is. We got it all built, set it in the corner, He just pulled the cord on the satchel. Now we all got to run and get the
I'm
hell
gonna
out
put
of
on
it.
the recording like I'm gonna put on the promotion, the text.
Yeah, put that out there. Put a video together like that.
It delivers, so you don't have to watch any of the metal. Like maybe I'll try to figure out how to edit all this out and then just have the results.
No, here's what we do. We put together one of these cartoon things that we have on AI, and we have you showing up there, all in uniform. You've got the helmet, the whole 9 yards going, and you're running in there in the back corner, and you're dropping a satchel, and the satchel says "real estate gurus" on it.
Yeah.
Then you're pulling the cord, then you're running out of there, and then watch everything blow up behind you.
Okay.
RCIC, this is what happens. I mean, something really different, right? After all, that's what we want to do. These gurus, we want to blow up.
Get it back to working because it's checking those websites still.
Well, it's a matter of how far down.
Yeah,
I mean, every one of those modules that it's checking websites.
Just
It's just trying to figure out which one it's checking.
Yeah. I mean, let's go to the analysis operation instead of becoming a little.
Well, it says you got 11 of them. This could take a while because every one of them's got some serious. I mean, okay, when you get the passport,
I'm thinking about people getting bored. I mean, they'll be happy with the results, but I'm still like, I'm sensitive to. They shouldn't. I don't want to because I don't want to discourage people when they go and say, "Hey, our video is 2.5 hours." Like, I got to put like the times in there when we get the results. Like at this point, I'm going tomorrow when I process.
We don't track that though.
At this point, I initiated this. At this point, it popped up on everything on the screen, so that way people look. Here you go. All right, now here's what we got. Current outcome. There you go, Doris. There you go, Jesse.
Oh, we come up?
Yep, current outcome. The foreclosure portal is mapped, and the newest 25 files screened.
Right.
Most visible files were scheduled for December 2026. Lower foreclosure balances are only equity screen signals, not perp. So it's got a map, and it talks. There's a color code: green, yellow, red, and you got it all mapped. You got a screen, so it's showing the different tools, right? So you got all 11 of the tools, and it's basically workflow ready. So it tells you at a point. Everybody, I'll read these real quick. So it's got the distress source list builder. So it's got the Jefferson County Public Trustee foreclosure portal identified as the controlling foreclosure source. The newest 25 files reviewed. Number 2 skill, lead intelligence router. Initial triage favors lower balances, single-family files for deeper review, sale data, property type, status, and equity indicators control priority, screened. Property and deed intelligence required next. Confirm vesting, legal description, deed history, senior junior liens, release HOA exposure, bankruptcy, withdrawals. The number 4, property comp and ARV analysis. That one is pending by parcel. Then you need no defensible ARV should be issued until the exact subject, property characteristics, condition, and same pocket sold comparables are verified. Needs a subject, rehab scope and cost estimator, desktop allowance only after photos, inspection walkthrough notes, credible condition evidence, unknown condition discounts are not a substitute for scope. So it needs a condition, so it'll need information on these for photos and descriptions and all that. Wholesale deal analyzer, the gates open. Candidate viability remains unproven until value, debt stack, carrying closing costs, buyer demand, and assignment spread are reconciled. You got the offered MAO architect. The MAO is intentionally withheld. They're not going to invent it. Rules and disclosure, Colorado wholesaling, brokerage, marketing, equitable interest, disclosure, local practice requirements, need current legal source verification before outreach or disposition. It'll do legal check. Purchase and sale agreement assistant. Contract workflow begins only after seller authority. Title path. Deadlines, consideration, access, inspection, assignment, closing strategy. Required disclosures are confirmed. Disposition and buyer match. Build the buyer criteria by Jefferson County Pocket. Property type, price band, rehab tolerance, proof of funds, closing speed, title constraints. Not a generic blast list. After control. Obviously, with the purchase agreement, we're not contract ready yet. until we have all this other information. So it's putting in the guardrails. And transactions are closed once under contract, control earnest money, title, cure items, inspection access, buyer deposit, assignment or double close, public trustee deadlines, and closing milestones. So it has completed that as the bundle.
Problem is, it's not coming up on the screen.
Well, which, yeah, let me just have to reshare it. I didn't realize that. You guys are going to tell me that.
Well, yeah, I didn't know if it was or not what was going on there for a second until you got to the end. I'm like, okay, that didn't work. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. That's everything I just read.
Wholesale bundle. Okay. So is it done with all 11 of them?
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, it needs information to get fed in, like photos and stuff for rehab and scope of work, things like that. But it's telling you on the right side, the red, yellow, and green, what's done. It's
mapped. Yeah, you got 2 greens already. What's those?
One's mapped for
digging into those 2.
Yeah,
take a look.
Wait until it's router. The red ones it needs for property comp and ARV, and then rehab and scope. It needs photos and stuff and things like that. So
let's see if you can find some of those green ones. Let's pop them open and see what they look like.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, what next for completion?
Oh, working. Okay. It's like, what? What's this thing doing? There we go.
So it's going to select the strongest candidate from the 25 file screen. It's going to verify the public trustee file status and sale date. It's going to confirm the owner, the parcel, the deed history. It's going to run some pocket comps and establish an ARV. Estimate rehab, addition evidence, calculate wholesale, verify the closure requirements. Then it's going to build the offer, the disposition package, and closing control sheet. Send me the selected foreclosure number or property address. That unlocks steps 3 to 11. Without a subject property, an ARV or MAO would be decorative fiction. So basically,
that gets you right up to the actual closing coordinator.
Yeah. So this is just to feed in the address.
You get right up to the point where you go ahead and find your transaction coordinator and you hand them all this off. But if it's already in RCIC systems, which it is, it's just the next level.
Yeah, let me see what it did yesterday.
By the way, it was an hour and a half.
Just enough time for dinner.
It was 90 minutes. Okay, is how long it took for that thing to do that. Now here's the thing. Well, here's the part this is what you have to understand. He wasn't just going to go ahead and run the program. He had to actually populate everything, including the program, into his system. So from going forward, that's already in his system. So now whenever you give it data, it's going to go a lot quicker because it doesn't have to constantly rebuild the system. So and it took 90 minutes to install all that and run that. Okay. So you're probably looking at about 2/3 of that 90 minutes was probably doing the installation, and the other third was probably running the program. So you're probably looking at about 20 minutes when you put the results in, and it comes out the results on the bottom of that. It's probably what you're going to be looking at, practically speaking. Okay. This is how you kind of do it. And then it's just going to keep getting faster because everybody else is going to be doing this too.
Mm-hmm.
Now this has got way, I mean, this is like, there is nobody getting anywhere close to this. It's just not possible, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So by the time you get it built, if it takes a day, you're really, really stretching it. That's the first thing. Second thing is, how many times a day or a week do you want to run this thing? Because it's going to give you back to where it was before. Okay, you'll probably have 4, 5, 6 of these that are green once you really get it dialed in properly. And the rest of them are going to be amber and red, okay, or yellow, whatever they got that second color is. And then you can take the other ones and kind of sell them, the ones that are kind of mid-grade, but the green ones, you can get a couple, $2,000 or $3,000 for a hot lead like that if you get it to somebody like a real estate broker or a real estate agent, because that's a guaranteed sale for those guys, and they get a guaranteed commission. They're, we've got two extremely talented ones of those guys in this thing. There's Dan Skilly and there's Brad Korn. Okay, and we got a couple of others that are looking into it right now. On top of that, no, I'm not done yet. I mean, these guys are actually in. They've already, yeah.
We got Crystal.
So, well, she's going to be, and I think who was it that's over in Detroit? Because basically that guy might as well be a broker. He's like bringing people into our deal.
Operator decision canvas.
Oh, cool.
This is on Littleton, Colorado. I pumped in one of the properties we're looking at for our test on MRA.
This Littleton?
Yeah. So this is I just pulled this from the MRA one test we did a couple of weeks ago off of Bill's.
Okay, so is it what do you mean by critical?
What do you mean critical?
Oh. On your right hand side, it said critical and required. What is that referring to?
Well, it's going to give you directions in this. I know they're a little bit. So it's got the title and listing. It's showing what it is, like official files.
Yeah, the color of those lines there. You see, you got green, you got yellow, and you got red.
Mm-hmm.
You go after what's in the green.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically telling you what's going on there. You got to read down a little bit. This is
25 of those records.
Okay, this is a week wholesale. I was just pulling this out for MRA just to show people, and it has the links to county and all that stuff. So this is just kind of taking it to the next step of actually putting properties in that system. So it'll start it's going to give you all the details of it.
This is what it's going to look like.
Okay, the scheduled sale is December 3rd. The preliminary value is 560 to 605K, low moderate confidence. The foreclosure balance is 505,755.71. The NAD is recorded. So it gives you all this information. It's the source. Here's the screen. It verifies it, the title, the payoff condition, the offer, and all that. It's going to build it for you. And it walks you through the whole process. And this does not issue a cash wholesale offer yet. It says that the essential 585,000 value, only about 38,294 remains after principal and illustrative 7% selling costs before arrears, foreclosure charges, HOA, taxes, other liens, repairs, seller cash, or profit. The best path to test, retail referral or novation first. So it's telling you to do that. Subject to only after learn terms and lien priority are verified. Conventional wholesale remains weak. Then it gets down to blunt verdict. So it's giving you the blunt verdict. Weak conventional wholesale candidate. Retail referral or novation appears stronger. Subject to remains possible only if the financing terms and lien position cooperate. The house may be fine. The spreadsheet is the only one in foreclosure. And so you do need to put more information in, like the photos and stuff. You have to, so it's going to, if it has photos and all that. And then you got the Jefferson County Public Trustee. The net is there. We pulled the net on this because we did the MRA before. Yeah. So it's just taking it up to the next level. Like I said, then it's going to tell you what to take to the next level. Like I said, it looks like it takes a little bit longer than it will, but everybody's got to train their system. Once you get the population part down, it's only going to take about a third of this time, Nate, because you're loading. What you were doing was you were loading the whole system on. You weren't just putting the numbers in there. You were actually loading the whole system. So 2/3 of that hour and a half was the system loading up, and that only takes one time. So the other 20 minutes was when it was actually working on trying to get the stuff done. So this is like a punch list.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
So like here, it's telling you, so Doris and Jesse, it's telling you what to do. Like here, it's telling you test title investing, confirm current owner, correct parcel, main priority.
I see what she's saying about critical over there on the side. That's basically, if it says critical, it needs to be paid attention to and taken care of. If it's required, it's obviously going to have to be done. Okay. And this is all in the different grade as far as stuff that needs to be done that's derogatory. You start with the criticals and then you work your way up to, the required and then the occasional or maintenance ones, whatever it takes to get to the level that you want to get the ARV you want. and that'll tell you what it is.
So just for time frame, I'll actually generate a PDF and I'll give it to both of you guys and I'll post it in the Facebook group.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
You can go through and read it. It's going to give a summary. And that way you can read, because it's hard to read on the screen when you're reading from Zoom.
Yeah, especially when you're looking at the wrong screen. You got about 20, 25 minutes without anything. Of course, nothing was going on then, but still, right?
Well, it's going to do searches. It was going through all 25 properties. It'll, at one time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about you were halfway through the description, and we couldn't get your screen to flip open.
No, and I ran I could put 207 in there, and then you'd probably take about 2 hours. But it's still 2 hours instead of 10 or 12 or
instead of 6 weeks.
Yeah, you put all the information in there, and you just so we're really showing people like where to go to do this that it can be done. There's still some steps we're going to go through.
People are flabbergasted, will be flabbergasted when they find out that, yes, this actually can work and does work, because it is so powerful. It's, once it gets out, it's over with, man. Stampede, let the stampede begin. Because that's what it's going to be like. Because there have been so many people out here that have been hit over the head with stuff. And they're just now getting to the point where there's these different, I call them micro programs. Nate calls them a pain in the ass, because they're always just a little itty bitty piece of something, but it's blown way out of proportion, costs a small fortune, and doesn't even do a tenth or a hundredth of what ours does. And we're cheaper than they are. None of that makes any sense when you see that. And we both got onto Investor Fuel and pointed this out from two different points of view. We're getting a little bit of traction. We just don't know how much out of that. How many people do you think would sign up off of that thing? 2 or 3?
At least.
One was signed up for sure. Two are still in the process out of that list.
Okay. So we don't know how many I could have gotten in mind, because we didn't have any way of tracking it. And Nate, we decided to find a way of doing that. He got all that set up, so at least he's got an idea what's going on with this one. But we both have massive amount. Well, I won't want to say massive amounts, but if you talk about percentage, we're not even in the same ballpark as all these other people's, because they might have 10 looks, and we've got like 80 or 90.
Most of them are doing one thing. They're pulling leads.
Yeah, they're only doing one thing.
Tracing. Here's a 9-page report, complete, visually checked. Covers a verified foreclosure record, all living skills, comps, equity sensitive, MRA, strategy comparison, seller discovery, remaining gates, and the final operator decision. And saving, there's the PDF. And I'll put that in the Facebook group, and I'll send it to you and Doris and Jesse. And
it's nuts.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Nuts. Yeah. I mean, it's just, and you're just itching to put an address in there or something in there and just watch it work. I told everybody in the beginning when I got into this part of the thing that this was going to have some entertainment value to it. And that it was going to be addictive. It was going to be, addictive to other people. People will get addicted to this. Right. I actually see this happening, because this is what it looks like. And when you're sitting there waiting for something and it's so crazy, it's like, how much money am I going to make next week? Well, it'll take you about an hour, and then you'll know exactly how much it's going to be. And then it does all the work for you. And you just go to the bank the next, the next week, and there's that money sitting there. It's almost that automated. But you can do 10 or 15 of these a day. If that's what you want to do. Because you get the agents involved, and all of a sudden it's like Vulcan chess. This thing just explodes. Okay, so we're scratching our heads, wondering if we should open up that Pandora's box. We've been debating about that for 2 or 3 weeks, because that's what that's going to be like.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff we can do.
Just think of having 25 of these running at one time. And it's coming up with 4 or 5 addresses at a time for each one.
Well,
how much do you want to do?
I pulled 207. I don't know if I could put 207 in there. I'll take the reporting off and I'll test it.
Yeah. Well, let's do it. The whole point is what we've got going on here is unprecedented. And the actual with everything else that's going on, it fits in like a glove. We just basically have to strap ourselves in, make sure our tray tables are up in the upright position and locked, and we have our seatbelts fastened, because this is going to be and if you don't line, don't forget your flotation device. But it's just that kind of a situation here, okay? And if you got an extra L2 tank, all the better. All right. I mean, it's just this thing's going to take you places that you never ever believe that you'd ever gone to, just because of the way it is. People aren't going to want to stop. They're going to get addicted to this, and they're going to just constantly be doing deals and not stick their head up long enough to look and see what the fuck they've done. With my twang. Okay, that's how this is going to work.
All right, let me put out a disclaimer and a warning. This is that warning that you get, don't I don't know.
Warning: this can be addictive and highly entertaining value. Okay.
That recording that has the FBI thing on your VHS tape. All right, everybody. I'm going to test.
Under penalty of law.
7.
We're going to steal. We are literally going to take. We are going to steal the little tag on the end of the mattress, and we're going to take a shot of it and put it on. We're going to post it.
All right, guys.
Under penalty of law.
If you don't see me for a couple of days, may God have mercy on my soul.
Yes. Captain Nathaniel Marshall, United States Army.
All right, let's take the recording off. All right.